It happened one day in the long, long ago that a certain man went out to hunt. And he went far from his village and he found no game. There was no game. So he decided that instead of trying to get back home in the dark, he'd make a camp where he was. So he built a fire and he had some dried meat which he ate and a little bit of old bread, and he ate that too. Then he decided that he should go to sleep. So he lay down to rest. But every time he closed his eyes, they just popped open, and he found that he could not get to sleep. So this man, an unusual young man, he thought to himself, well, probably the reason that I can't get to sleep is because this is no ordinary night. Perhaps this will be a night of wonder and magic. And even as he spoke, he saw an unusual thing in the sky. He saw a star moving in his direction. It was coming closer and closer. He had never seen such a thing before, and of course he was frightened. He was frightened. So he kicked out that fire, and he jumped behind some bushes, and he watched that star getting bigger and bigger. And when it was close enough, he could see that it was not a star at all. It was a great shining, shimmering, glittering, glowing basket. A basket was coming down out of the sky, and it landed in that grassy field not far from him. And the door opened, and seven star people got out of that ship, that spaceship, to dance in that field. Dance and sing and laugh and play. Oh, they were having a wonderful good time all through the night. And as the man watched, he found that he was attracted to one of those women. She was not the best dancer. She was not the prettiest of them. She was not even the best singer. But there was just something about her that really attracted him, and he just liked her a lot. And then as the sun came up, those 7 star people went back to the ship, into the basket, and the basket carried them back to the star kingdom. But you know, that man couldn't forget about that woman. He thought about her all the time. And one night he went back to that field, and he hid behind those bushes, and he looked up into the sky, and he just wished that she would come back. And you know, a star came moving toward him again. The star that was getting closer and closer and closer, and it was the basket. It came and it fell down, landed in that grassy field again. The door opened, and the 7 star people came out of the basket to dance and play in that grassy field. And they danced and danced. Now this man, he had magic powers. And as he watched, he wanted to be closer to this woman, so he changed himself into a mouse. And he went scurrying through the grass, and he hid under the edge of the basket. And he watched them as they danced and danced the night away. And then it was just as the sun was coming up that he changed himself back into a man, and he caught that woman, and he would not let her go. And the other people were so scared, they got back in the ship, and they just went away and left her on earth. Well, that man took her to the village, and she stayed there in the village with the grandmother of the man. And every day he'd go to visit her and talk with her and try to make friends with her. And pretty soon they were friends. They could speak each other's languages, and they saw a lot of each other. And then they were sweethearts, and then they got married. And in due time, a baby was born. And that baby grew up to be a fine boy. A boy that was very independent, a boy that was full of dignity. This was such a happy family that the people in the village used to talk about them. They'd say, have you noticed what a fine relationship they have? Have you seen that boy and his dignity? Have you seen how he can do so many things? He's so skillful, and he's like a leader already. And they never bellyache, and they never gripe. They don't complain. They don't nag each other. There's no sarcasm or ridicule among them. They don't quarrel and argue and fight. What a wonderful relationship. These people would say, oh my goodness, they're so happy together. But one day, the man came home, and he found his wife crying. And he said, What have I done to make you so unhappy? And the woman said, it isn't you. Everything you do always makes me happy. But you see,
I can't live on earth.
I am not of the earth. I am of the stars, and I want to go home. What would they do? They were happy together. They wanted to stay together, and they had a child to consider. They had a child to consider. So this man was good at making plans, and he decided that he and his family would go back to that meadow and call that starship back and see if they would let them go and live with them in the star kingdom. So they went to the field, to that meadow, and the star basket came down, and the star people came out. And these people were glad to have that. And so they went. And for a while, they were happy there in the star kingdom. Until one day, no, you stay. Until one day, the woman came home, and she found her husband with a long, sad face. And she said, what have I done to make you so unhappy? And he said, well, it isn't you. Everything you do always makes me happy. But you see, I am not of the stars. I am of the earth, and I want to go home. There it was again, that same problem. They still loved one another. They still wanted to be together, and they had a child to consider. A child to consider. Well, what would they do? Well, you remember this man had magic power. So he used his magic, and he changed himself and his wife and the boy into 3 white hawks. They were magic white hawks. They could fly to the star kingdom when they wanted to live in the stars. They could fly back to earth when they wanted to live on earth and be transformed into earth beings again. And I have been told that because they were born in magic, those 3 white hawks are still flying. They have never died. I have been told that because they were born in magic, it is possible that they could still be killed by a careless 2-legged who might go out to do some harm against the 3 white hawks. And that's our story, and we're sticking with it. Whew. Thank you one and all.
And we're ready for you when you are.
We are the star people. From the star world. Wow.
Can you see the beans falling?
No, do it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we could.
Stop it real quick. Why are I'll bite you.
Hurry. Hurry, let me eat the beans.
Well, pause it, you spit them back, spit the beans back into the grail.
Stop it.
And then you'll say, yummy. And then set them down.
Be the man holding the beans and eating them.
I'm starved.